Hi, it's Kevin Bates here, and today I want to talk a bit more about stablecoins. Really, I want to dig down into what the problem with them is, because if you're going to have a stablecoin, it needs to be backed by something. So the first choice you have is to have exactly the same amount of, say, US dollars or euros, or maybe even a basket of currencies in an account somewhere that you can guarantee exists in order to back up the coin. But that, of course, begs the question, well, what's the point of putting a digital representation of a currency which is already digitally represented in the form of database entries in, say, a bank onto a blockchain? The second possibility is fractional reserve backing of the coin, like our traditional banking system does with its accounts, which is the same as the previous case, but there's also now the risk of a run on your digital currency. Namely, if people start trying to cash it out, there may be panic, and as a result more and more people try and offload their coins until eventually you don't have the funds in order to back the coin anymore, and the whole thing collapses. And then the third possibility is through the issuance of some kind of bonds, whereby you maybe start off with some kind of currency in reserve, and people trust in the currency because there is a smart contract or some kind of agreement that by holding coins in the future you will get a few more. And then the idea is that the issuance of the new coins kind of balances the influx of new coin buyers, thereby keeping the price stable. Again, it is hard enough for governments these days to get things like treasury bonds actually bought. You need to have a sort of AAA credit rating, and I don't think that any newly launched coin out there is going to be able to provide the confidence that is required for such a scheme to really work. So I'm left skeptical still by the concept of stable coins. Maybe there's the possibility for stable-ish coins, and it certainly shouldn't do any harm to have some kind of real-world backing to some degree for a cryptocurrency. That should make it better than something that's totally free-floating. But all in all, I think really it's the sort of social network effect of coins and the adoption by a community that ultimately gives them value. And all these other sort of props and scaffolding, I think are in many cases just an attempt to try and shore up what is basically a fundamentally flawed concept to begin with, namely trying to get yet another new coin out there. Anyway, just a bit of a further digging into stablecoins. Hope you found that interesting, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.